Yes, we do need change on our mental capacity law. Our current law is called the PPPR Act, the Protection of Personal and Property Rights Act, and it's a law in 1988. And whilst it was very progressive for its time, it is now quite out of date. There are two key concepts in mental capacity law. The first is whether a person has decision-making capacity or capacity to make a decision, and if not, whether and how decisions should be made by others. So looking at the first concept of capacity itself, it's all important how capacity is assessed. This is usually undertaken by doctors, but it could involve other healthcare professionals such as nurses. The fellowship has enabled me to have a multidisciplinary aspect to my project, which I've found very interesting and stimulating. Part of my project has been to develop a guidance for doctors. It's called a Toolkit for assessing capacity, and the fellowship has enabled me to be able to work with doctors, a psychiatrist, as well as ethicists about how to develop this toolkit or guidance. We surveyed doctors and looked at what their medical education needs were in terms of understanding both the clinical side of assessing a person's capacity for decision making, as well as their knowledge of the law. The toolkit for assessing capacity is the first attempt, I believe, in New Zealand to have a form of best practice standard for doctors, and hopefully it will be developed further as a first step towards a code of practice for New Zealand. Internationally, there are a number of these guidances, but previously there has not been a guidance that's applicable to New Zealand, particularly to the law, and as well as the cultural dimension in terms of the cultural context within which capacity assessments are undertaken. These kinds of research are very important because in many instances there is very little social policy and people working on these areas of law in government. So it's really important, I believe, that the Law Foundation continues to fund projects that allows for independent thinking about law, and also keeping open law reform in terms of what areas of law do need rethinking or updating in terms of contemporary thinking. The Law Foundation Fellowship has been a fantastic opportunity for someone like me. I'm a practicing lawyer and for many years have been a court-appointed lawyer representing people who lack capacity. And so what this research has allowed me to do is to take time out of practice and pursue my interests and passion really in mental capacity law. I think it's really important to involve practicing lawyers in a law reform project like the one I'm undertaking, because although it's important to understand policy and the academic background to the law, it's really important to have people who understand how the law works in practice, and also to have the experience and knowledge around the law. So I hope that adds some value to the law reform project that I'm undertaking.